Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. We coming to you live with Zoom. Going to talk to Joshua W. Turner. He is a multi-instrumental singer, producer, bridging the gap between heavy sonic textures and deep personal healing. He's based out of Seattle. He's the mastermind behind the project We Wept. He has a massive new EP called Guardian that will be dropping July the 20th of this month. So be sure I will post a link and everything when this article goes live. We're going to dive into his grunge roots, his Deftones influences, and his new venture that I've been seeing a lot pop up about this life coaching that you're doing.
Yeah.
So we would like to welcome everybody to the screen for Joshua W. Turner. And Josh, thank you so much for coming and talking with me again. It's been a while.
It has been a while, brother. It's great to be back talking with you. You rock. You rock. I follow you. I see your art, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me again and to reconnect. It's great.
Awesome, it is, brother. It is glad, and I've been keeping up with you as well, and you've really made a lot of progress over the last couple of years with a whole lot more exposure. I see going on.
Yeah, thanks, man. And now that I think back, you were the first interview I did with We Wept. I just realized that.
Yeah,
Like thinking back, 'cause wow, it has been a couple years, and then I realized, oh wow, like, you were the first guy that took me in when we were brand new, and gave me that opportunity. So thank you, man. Like for real, I really appreciate it. It's good to be
you're
back with you.
welcome, brother. I mean, I love what you're doing, what you stand for, and all of that. It's amazing.
Thanks, man.
So let's roll on through here and see. I have you moved from recording alone in your bedroom to refining your craft to this intense formal institutions, uh, Berkeley and MI Hollywood.
hmm
How did going from that isolated bedroom space to a high pressure music environment shape the raw, unfiltered way that you're approaching?
Yeah, man. I mean, the transition was pretty. It rocked me pretty good because I'm going straight from the little island that I was raised on, to downtown Boston to go to Berkeley. And like then you're in it. And so I look back at that and it's like, man, like I'm a pretty sensitive guy, and to be thrust from from calm and secluded to chaos.
Right.
I think I look back and I think, man, you handled that pretty well. But yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. So I just went in there. It's like, okay, I guess this is life now, and now we're in it. And I guess this is what I wanted. So here we
Yeah,
are.
jump in with both feet. Hey, that's
Yeah,
what it is. I think there's a lot of younger musicians and stuff that don't understand the chaos part that's behind just being in the industry at all now because it's gotten so crazy. There's so many artists and musicians, and then like we was talking earlier, AI is now getting involved. So, woo,
yeah.
what's
It's a
what?
different world than when I went in. When I went in, everything started. It was the beginning of what we see now. Everything was shifting, and it was kind of a gray area. It was a strange time because they were teaching you the music industry when the music industry wasn't there anymore. It was a strange thing. So
Right.
they were going off of a model that wasn't really relevant, you know. But I don't know. I mean, everybody goes to Berkeley for different reasons.
Right.
Honestly, I don't even know why I went. I went because I was accepted. Like to be real with you, like I remember when I was accepted, I played all instruments and I thought, well, I got to apply for something. Do I apply for guitar, drums? Well, I guess I'll sing because I like being a front man, and that's how I applied for the vocal program.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So you're based out of Seattle, so
yeah,
that everyone knows. We all know the musical legacy that they have there.
yeah.
Early '90s, those grunge heavyweights, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden.
Oh, yeah.
So how is that embedded in your DNA, and how do you honor that classic sound without making it a nostalgia trap in your sound?
Yeah, I think the beauty of We Wept is that I don't think about how to do it. I think I just am and I just be. And so like what you see with We Wept is literally me not really trying to map out anything musically, just what would I want to hear and when what can I produce based on my influences. And so it's like if you hear like an Alice in Chains influence, it's not that I planned it that way. It just is that way. It came out that
Right.
way. And there's so much. I mean, I've been playing music now for over 20 years,
Awesome.
and it's an accumulation of everything that has happened and influenced me within those 20 years. And I look back, it's like, well, you were hit really, really, really hard as a young child with grunge when it was going on because I was in the area. And even if I didn't understand it fully, but then in high school, I was like hit again with the second wave of being, an older person and recognizing like these songs speak to my soul, like the heaviness, the darkness, the even simply the pain of the lyrics and the honesty. And so it whether I intentionally um, incorporated that into my influences or not, it is a deep part of my core. And so
Yeah,
yeah.
because you grew up and that's the musical sounds that your brain has kind of remembered, and when you start creating, it's just kind of pulling from that pool.
Yeah, and it's weird because I didn't get the same experience as everyone else because I grew up in the Seattle area and it was so massive and I didn't know like is it just because it's this area, but then as I got older I realized no, this was a worldwide hit. Like this was everything in the 90s,
It
at least
was.
the early part of the 90s, and it's really cool to think back. It's like wow, like you were around that as young as I was, like driving through Seattle and 92, 93, 94, and knowing that this is happening in this city. Not that I was thinking that, but looking back now, it's like, yeah, man, like you and then seeing these figures pop up that are still in the area. It's like, oh, I know this person, I know this person. It's like Lane Staley's mom lives just down the street from me.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And so it's like we're all connected because we're all local.
Right, right. And I think that's how it worked a lot, or works a lot now. It's like even today, Nashville's kind of become the mecca center of music, it seems.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and it's, I'm sure it was the same way in Los Angeles. Everybody knew each other. I
It's a
just
small
seen
world.
Ricky Rockman other night doing his One Foot in the Gutter show.
hmm
And he was talking about when he was first beginning that, Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, he was friends with all them before anybody ever knew who they were. And
Wow.
it was crazy hearing all that and hear how they were all tied together and how they did things together. So I
That's
think
so
that's part
cool.
of it. And I think that's a lot of part of what helps make bands and people successful is who you
hmm
network with.
I would say like in my experience, like it really is who you know. You've heard that before. It's like there has to be some sort of an in. And talent is not the main thing. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, all these untalented people. Like it doesn't matter. Like I don't care. It's like you can base a whole career off of charisma.
Right.
Like you can. And do I think that's wrong? No, not really, because you're still affecting people.
Yep.
There's people who have shaped whole generations, and they from being the knowing the technical side of going to music school, they're not gifted in what they do, but somehow they have some sort of charisma and voice that connects with a generation. I
Yep.
think that's cool.
I do too. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So let's see what I got now. You handled most of the writing and the arrangements, kind of wore a one man hat in the making of this EP, or pretty much in the We Wept
Yeah.
concept. Uh, so how do you, is it harder for you to tap into that emotional energy or feeling that's the performer side of you, or do you fall into the engineer side more?
I'm a performer at heart. Like that is my main expression. And the truth is that We Wept has not ever played a live show. Although that's about to change coming in the next couple months, but like we wept. I do everything. I write, record, play all the instruments, mix, master, um, do all the artwork, like everything I do. Because when I was young, I'd go to studios, um, and I'd pay all this money to go into this professional studio with a producer, and then they'd give me my song back, and it's nothing like I imagined it to be.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped going to producers, and I'm not like I wasn't trained in, you know, producing music, but when you do it for 20 years, you learn things, a lot of
Yeah.
trial and error. So it's like anything you hear with We Wept, nobody else is involved except me. And
Okay.
so, and good or bad, like I think that's the beauty of We Wept. It's like I'm not concerned on if you know, if people think it should be a different way, because it sounds the way I want it to sound and the way that I hear it. I don't know if it's professional or right or wrong. It's just like the grittiness. Like it's I intentionally use a really cheap microphone, and I intentionally use a really cheap um, guitar amp microphone. I don't plug in. I record from amps, and
Just
I
so you can get that gritty sound.
So I'll be honest with you. Part of how We Wept started is I was cleaning out a drawer in a an old drawer in a church cupboard, and I opened it, and there was a microphone, an instrument microphone, and a vocal recording microphone. No idea the anything about it, if it was good or bad, and you know, the church said I could have it. And so I plugged it in, and ever since then I've been using those two things for We Wept, and
Oh,
I don't want to change it because nothing's wrong with it.
right, right.
But
Hey,
I
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It works.
but I
And
looked it up, and the microphone's less than $100. I can't even find the instrument mic. It's so obsolete, but
oh wow.
that's what I use those two, and I tried on especially my heavier stuff. I tried using a more expensive microphone, a blue microphone, which is a really high end brand that I also own, and I had to redo the vocals back to the cheap microphone because it didn't have the sound that now hear as the We Wept vocal sound.
That's what my mic is. It's a blue.
Yeah,
It's a Yeti.
yeah, blues are really high end known microphones, industry standard, which are great for some things. It's just I realize the heavy vocals are not they're not they don't come through the way that I'd like. They need
Okay.
to be crazy distorted. I don't know how else to say it. And that
Okay, I
cheap
got you.
microphone does it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about because I know you posted a snippet the other day and said you think he listens to the Deftones.
Oh
So
yeah.
how what kind of an influence of them have they been, and do you look how do you balance that uh internal aggression and that sound and how it feeds into what you're doing?
Yeah, you know, it's so like, you know, I Deftones, I'm more influenced by Deftones sonically than I am like a mega fan. So like I
Okay.
remember when I first heard Change, House of Flies, and the way that it went from the verse, the soft verse, to the chorus, and the chorus just exploded. Like I'd never heard anything like that. I'd never heard sonically anything that massive. And ever since I heard that in high school, I thought that is what I want. I want that insane dynamic. I want that. I want to be able to go from so delicate to so off the
Intense.
wall
Yeah.
intense. And so, so listening to Deftones, they're really good at that. And so, like that song "Live for You," what you're referring to with that the reel that I made, it's like that's what I tried to do. I wanted it to be really delicate, soft falsetto vocals that go into just a monstrous scream vocal.
Well, you nailed it.
And Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. But it came out with that dynamic. So like the funny thing about Deftones is that Deftones is now how I relate to my niece, who is 16 years old, because Deftones are cool with the kids again. And so we'll talk about Deftones, and she'll actually teach me a lot because, since I'm not like a mega fan, I don't own all their albums. I like them. There's a lot of songs that I really like. She'll show me songs of theirs. But the songs that I do listen to of Deftones, I really, really like. Like,
Yeah, I enjoy what I've heard. I'm like you. I'm not a big mega fan, but I do enjoy what I have heard.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like Live for You, speaking of like influences coming together, like Live for You was it's like Deftones meets Marilyn Manson, but Jesus is at the center of it. And I just thought that was so cool because like it's new. Like it's taking all these different influences and bringing it into a world that I've never heard anything like that.
Right.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but it's not common enough to be like, oh, I can listen to this song and say it's like this one, and that's cool to me.
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right too.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, man.
Uh, you train with your vocal and everything. So how do you approach, like from a vocal standpoint? Do you like, how do you take care of your voice?
It's interesting because like going to music school and being like I'm trained in opera, like I'm operatically trained, so I know voice. But one of like the biggest takeaway I got from going to music school, studying voice, is that if it hurts, you're doing it wrong. If it doesn't hurt, then you're okay.
Right.
So that's that. I don't think technically when I sing. I think, okay, does that hurt? And am I able to go from like the intense scream to a soft falsetto with no tickle in my throat and no like distortion? Like and if I'm able to do that, then I know that I'm doing it properly. You
Right.
just it can't hurt and it can't tickle.
Right. I
And
hear
if
you.
you can find a way to do that, then you're good. And that's kind of how I operate, from going from the
Okay.
really soft, delicate to the really intense and the back and forth.
Is there any certain studio techniques that you use to, well, other than the microphones that you were talking about earlier, to make your sound as massive as it is and uh, heavy and spacious all at once?
Yeah, I spent so many years trying to figure out the right way to record. Like I thought there was like a right way, and it's like you actually had to do it this way in order for it to come out of speakers like I was really thinking there was a way you had to do it, but then over time I got too overwhelmed with all the possibilities of how you can, mix, master, the effects, all the things you could do to record, that I went back to the simplicity of like, hey, does it sound good? And then over the years I found like, like I mastering is the key. Like if to master a track. So I'll mix the track, great, cool, and then I'll master it. And the mastering is what I realize over time that brings the song to life.
Yeah.
The mastering is what sonically spaces it out. It's what hypes it. It's what gives it that umph. And I found that it's like, okay, you can get a really good mix, and it can sound great, but then you won't really know until it's mastered.
Right.
And
Okay. I got you.
mastering at this point is really simple to me because I do very simple mastering. Basically just, you know, pump the thing as loud as it can go without distorting, put a little bit of space to where you widen the sound a little bit. Um, I just started using Excite. It's just a little button you hit Excite, which gives it just a little bit more umph. And it's simple as that. But like I said, like 20 years of trial and error of doing this, like you can pump out a song pretty quickly,
Right.
to fit your standards. Maybe not everybody else's, but your standards.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
and me, my photography and stuff is kind of the same way.
Yeah,
and a lot of photographers, they're always looking for their niche and how they edit, or I've about got my editing niche down finally.
but I
Uh,
think that's but I think like with you too, or me or anybody else, like I have found, and maybe it's right or wrong. I operate in the sense to where I just do what I want because that is what's going to separate me from everybody else. Like the way you take a photo, I would encourage you let go of what you think is the right way to take a photo and take it the way you think is cool. Because what I found is like if you think a photo is cool, even if it's not the standard of what you see around you, there's millions of other people that will also think it's cool because we're not as unique as we think we are. There's a lot of like-minded people out there.
you're
And
exactly
then
right.
you become a trendsetter and real cool, and then everybody wants to copy you. Like that's what I found.
Yeah, you're
So
exactly
that's how I
right.
make music. It's like, well, nobody else is doing this as far as I know. If I think it's cool, then there's millions of others that are going to think it's cool, and maybe they'll show up right in the beginning. Maybe they won't show up for years to come, but they'll show up.
They've been showing up on yours. I've been seeing your hit counts and stuff that you've been reaching. You've reached some pretty great numbers there with a
Yeah,
couple of your
thanks, man.
songs.
I appreciate that, and but I want you and any other of the listeners to take that as encouragement. Like you are you are you being you is your superpower. Nobody can do that. Like I could try as hard as I wanted to be Rich Williams in the photography realm, and I would never do it. It's impossible. I can't
I know
because
exactly what you mean.
I don't have the Rich Williams superpower, and but that's the truth that we laugh, but I'm being so serious. Like
I know
that's
you
what
are. Yep, you're
that
exactly right.
yeah, that's what We Wept is based out of, is that nobody can touch this because nobody is me. I can
Right.
have influence upon influence, and I can like if you I'll even be as bold to say like if you listen to like Not Satisfied, it's totally a Soundgarden riff. If you listen to the song Desperate, totally Nirvana influenced, and it's like it's listen to like a Soundgarden song saying I want to write a song like that. So then I filter it through me and my superpower, and it comes out as like Not Satisfied,
Yeah.
and that's cool because it frees you and gives you the freedom to recognize like you're always influenced by something, but nobody can filter it through your superpower except you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's for real. So take that with you. Like, yeah, man, like you're gonna do it the way you're gonna do it, and people will always have an opinion, but you can do it originally you, and nobody else can.
Right. We're getting
Yeah.
a little close on time, so I'm
Okay.
just going to ask a couple of more real quick questions.
Yeah, no
One,
problem.
tell me about this new EP, Guardian. I've listened to it. I think it's killer.
Thanks,
We
man.
talking about all these other Seattle bands and stuff. I can't remember. It may be the opening song, but I felt a little Mother Love Bone influence in there.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Yeah. It was not influence. I think you're talking about Need to Say, which is the album opener. I did not think Mother Love Bone when I wrote that, but this EP is a collection of songs that they have to be together. So it's like in today's industry, talking about like playing by the rules, like it's not necessarily a smart, business thing to release an EP, even an EP today, because singles are what people's attention spans are at. But I realize there's no way I could separate this because this is a story.
Right.
It's a true story. Like, like Need to Say has like I wrote the music to that when I wasn't a Christian and my mom was dying, and I'd sit next to her deathbed as she was unconscious and play that riff. I wrote it next to her, but then she died, and I kind of went off the deep end and then hit a rock bottom and literally experienced the presence of God, which changed my heart and made me a follower of Jesus. And then I wrote the lyrics from her death perspective. And then there's Leave the Light On, which is kind of like, okay, you're gone now. I hope I see you again. If you're there, leave the light on for me on the other side of this side of eternity. Um, and then Guardian is basically just um, it's the snapshot of what it was like to collapse in hopelessness and then be met by the Holy Spirit, which is, the presence of God and the power. Like I like the chorus, like I have the power. I feel nothing, all that shame, guilt. I feel nothing but you. And
Awesome.
it's an intense, like, and I know, like, I talk passionately about this, and I know not everybody's gonna get that, but that's the beauty of this project and being independent, is that I can put this out, and I hope it connects. Like, again, I know if I feel this way about it, there's millions of others that will, but it's like, if this EP like flops, it still needed to be exactly what it is. And there's no
Awesome.
regret whatsoever, because it is quite the departure from the heavy hitting We Wept sound thus far. But this is probably the work I'm most proud of. These three songs out of really anything I've done in my 20 years, is like, it's the most personal, it's the most diverse, and I'm most proud of it. And and again, like, it comes down to, I haven't heard anything like it. I've heard
Yeah, I
things that
hadn't
you
either.
can trace back influences, but I've never heard anything musically, sonically, lyrically like this, knowing what it's about. So yeah, that's the EP coming out July 20th, of this year, which is less than a week from when this is being recorded. So yeah, it'll be right there,
All right.
everywhere, all
All right.
streaming platforms.
Yeah, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it if they'll just go out and listen to it. They will enjoy it because it's a really great little
Yeah,
EP. And now that you've explained how the songs flow and go together, uh,
yeah,
yeah, I see that. I remember
yeah.
I could tell there was a story there. I just didn't know what.
Right, right. And most people won't, but I think, like, and some people shouldn't need to know. It's like, if they listen to
Exactly.
if they listen to this interview, then great. But there will be people that won't listen to this interview, and they'll just listen to that, and it will be their story, however they put it together. And that's the beauty of, like, the art. It's like, I have my meaning to the songs, but you have complete freedom to take the song and make it whatever you want, because once I release it, it's not mine anymore. It's yours. Just like
Yeah.
all these songs of, like, going back to the grunge music, like, I listen to these songs, it's like, these are mine because they fit in my story this way, and impact me in this way. Like, the way that I see, like, the grunge scene is not really what it was, and I know that. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just my viewpoint on it, and the way it fits into my life. And that's a crazy thought, but that's the truth, and that's the beauty of art. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Is it still a strong presence there around Seattle? It's kind of died down, but is there still a pretty big grunge scene around Seattle?
Not really. I mean, there's people like me who kind of throw it back, but I would say it's more indie. It's
Okay.
more like, yeah,
It's
like
kind of
indie.
what's happening around here too. A
Yeah,
lot of
it's
indie.
yeah, and it's indie, and that's cool. Um, but no, it's not. From my viewpoint, it's nothing like it was in the 90s.
All righty. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you one more combination question before we wrap
Okay.
up.
Cool.
So, and you can choose which order that you want to answer. So
Okay.
the message or primary idea that you hope people carry away from this EP, uh, what is that you hoping that they'll come away with? And then this life coaching that you're getting into or have started, tell me a brief little bit about that.
Yeah. So I hope that people, what they take away from it is like, hey, this is the artist that you hear within We Wept, and this is his soul and his experience in a nutshell. This is why he is what he is and why he does what he does. Um, and just to help heal, like, as any We Wept song, and this is
Okay.
just a different form. And the life coaching kind of ties into that. There's a lot of hurting people, And I realized that I talk with so many people and they tell me like, thank you for being there for me. And it's like, well, is nobody else there for you? And so it's like, I realized that God has given me a gift to communicate in many different areas. And sometimes it's just a conversation. So that's what the life coaching is, turnerlifecoaching.com.